All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. I thought I would jump on here. I'm going to do a major food forest update because everything is popping right now, and I want to update y'all on that. We haven't really done any types of vlogs, so I thought I would kind of give y'all a channel update, what's going on, why there's been so much change in the channel and format and whatnot. We are now a family of 9. 11 years ago, we strategically relocated to Northeast Texas. We decided in order to live a better life, we wanted to design and live an intentional life that was largely agrarian, a slower paced lifestyle. And so we made that jump 11 years ago, and we moved with 3 small children. We now have 6 children. My oldest son recently got married. Him and his wife are building a house here on the homestead, and we are watching the fruits of our labor and intentional living, the fruit of all that. God has greatly blessed us, and we obviously don't deserve any of it, but we desire to be good stewards and to live intentionally, act intentionally, control what we control, and kind of ignore what is out of our control. And so that has allowed us to purchase at least 50 acres here in Northeast Texas. We grow cows, we grow chickens, and other various critters. We also have horses, and we do all those kind of things. And we provide our children with opportunities, whether they are entrepreneurial or just an opportunity to live a feral type life where you are outside, you're not stuck to a screen, you're not absorbed by social media and the doom scroll and the TikTok nonsense and this short ADD attention span type things. And the only way to accomplish that is with reality and with dirt and with room and with a place to go and things to do. And an agrarian lifestyle provides that, provides children with things to do, chores, responsibilities, opportunities to maybe generate their own money and learn the saving process, the capitalization process, and really what life's all about. So I just kind of wanted to do a channel update. Matt got married last year, and he was our main filmer, editor. He knows all the editing magic. He's a very skilled photographer, videographer, and editor. So he was doing all that stuff. So him and his 2 older brothers, they started a little construction company that kind of really took off. Trying to make money on social media and get paid to do this kind of stuff is really a unicorn. It's more impossible than it's not. We were doing it more as a hobby, and we had a lot of success, and then they, them, and those, and all the things that didn't really happen in 2020 and didn't happen like the previous years following that, and all the censorship and the technocracy. Well, they had different ideas for all that. So, here we are. So they have a successful business. So and Matt's married, and they have very little time to do all these other things that obviously don't generate revenue. And as they grow into adulthood, they realize how important that is. So that's kind of what's happened to the channel. We don't have our videographer anymore. We don't have our editor. That's what's happened to the quality of the videos. Matt is still filming and making videos. He's just editing in his spare time. And there's not a lot of that right now. So I'm not saying that videos aren't going to continue to drop for Matt with the house build and different things, but we're just trying to prioritize some things. And Matt and his wife may even launch their own channel. They were just talking about that today. So we'll see how all that goes. We'll obviously keep you posted and updated. But that's kind of where everything's at. That's where we're at. That's where the channel's at. And we do love and appreciate all the support and the engagement and all of our customers over at TheTexasBoys.com. That we appreciate the support. and love, and we want to continue to grow that resource over there. As our younger children get older, that'll be an opportunity for them to engage there and learn entrepreneurialism and learn responsibility and pack orders and do all these different things. So obviously the website's still there, all our products are still there, and we love and appreciate all of our subscribers and all the support that y'all bless us with. But I just wanted to kind of explain what's happening, what's going on. There are a lot of YouTubers very successful YouTubers that are just abandoning YouTube. I know we have friends up in Missouri, they just stopped making videos, and you kind of can't blame them, you know. And then I know the Outdoor Boys, they have a very large channel, and he just stopped making videos, and I totally get it. So this isn't like we're not making videos anymore, but I kind of wanted to explain our scenario. There's only 24 hours in a day, and so that's kind of where we're at. But I am in the back food forest. Like I said, we moved 11 years ago. We had never grew anything in our life, never planted a tree. We did before we moved, we did have a couple backyard chickens, and we did have a couple goats. But since then, we've expanded and we started planting. And I'm going to spin this around here. So we basically have 4 food forests in 4 separate zones. And then I have a kind of like a collector garden, and I want to walk you through all of that right now. I'm in the back food forest here behind the house. We live on about 5 acres. We've intensively planted about 2.5 acres. We have almost 400 trees here, and all of this was planted randomly on and off, say 7 years ago. Continue to modify it, and but we have several mulberry trees. That's a white mulberry and a Valdosta mulberry. Then we have a Florida gigantic mulberry, the Chiang Mai 60 mulberry. The reason that we're collecting mulberries is they make great animal fodder, and we have cows, so I wanted to experiment with different types. That's a Jan's mulberry. That's a dwarf mulberry. And then this is we have a silk hope and a sweet lavender mulberry. Recently, I planted some more pecan trees from foodforestnursery.com. You can see a link below if you wanted 10% off using the Texas Boys discount code. Planted some pecan trees, and then we have some more. I also have a fig tree collection of about 120 fig trees, so you'll see lots of fig trees in here. They perform very well in our climate. And this year we did not get a late freeze snap, so everything is really putting on fruit. So I'll kind of take you through all that in this back food forest. We kind of redirect our gray water, and we have like a drainage system with some native grasses and different things to kind of control our water sources. And so most of this is passively irrigated. We have a lot of different pear trees. I probably have about 8 different variety of pears. And as I walk through here, I'll be able to show you kind of like what is fruiting and what is not fruiting. Right now, the pears and the apples are starting to set. We have lots of fig sets. And the thing in Texas is always weed control. So a lot of this you're seeing back in here is weed. I have a small little sod surfer lawnmower that I run through here, and I'll knock all this stuff down. But you can see all the figs are producing very prolifically. We have some Asian pears here. There's just this is the second year on the Asian pear that I've started to get some blight. So you'll see a little bit of blight, but the Asian pears are very blight resistant. I'm not really sure this year, but every year it's a little something different, y'all. So that's why the diversity is real important. And those Asian pears will get very large, And the Asian pear is a really firm pear that's very incredible tasting. And so we have some Asian pears there. We have some, like, I think these might be Bartlett's over here. So that tree is loaded. This is the first year that this tree is fruited. This tree is probably about 5 years old. And then we have, you can see on this apple tree, you can see a little bit of rust or blight, sometimes where the tips die off. I'm looking for some fruit sets on here. I don't see any right at this time. Got another pear back in there with lots of fruit on it. Another pear over here with lots of fruit on it. This is our Texas native. So this is a native white peach, and it's a cling-free, and it's awesome. And if you buy the Food Forest in a box, this is the peach. And it's an ugly peach, but it's absolutely delicious. But it's a native variety. And once you develop this type of canopy, it's just so incredibly cool back here. And we do run some of our critters back here, and that just helps everything to function properly. But that's our red bourbon. We put our older chickens, rather than keeping them on the food bill, we put our older chickens back to pasture back here, and they can kind of enjoy the end of days while performing a function and keeping the pests down. And they're off the feed bill. And then in there's the bulletproof chicken tunnel where the layers are. This is a Fuyu persimmon. It's an Asian persimmon that performs very well. Those persimmons get very large, and they will ripen on the tree, and they won't come off till October, and they'll be ripe in October. So you get some really good seasonal stuff. There's a grafting experiment. I got a lot of grafts on that big tree there. We have some large mulberry trees. The mulberry trees are almost done fruiting. We got an inordinate amount of fruit off of the mulberry trees this year. This is an LSU Tiger, and you can see what kind of fruit sets are on here. There's fruit sets at every node, so this thing will be absolutely packed out and loaded. This is an LSU Purple, and yeah, these trees are very mature and large. They're all passively watered. We got a Lee and Lang Jujube. They're loaded as well. They always perform very great. They ripen on the tree. So the Lee and the Lang. And then here's one of my favorites. Uh-oh, look at this, y'all. Live action. That's a very large fig. That's a strawberry emerald. I'll give you some perspective on the size of that fig. Also, if you look closely, you'll see the cracking, and that means it's going to be incredible. But yeah, we already have ripe fruit other than mulberry, which is pretty wild this year. But this tree is pretty loaded as well. And we have some more hanging in there, but these get very large. So this is the back food forest. I'm going to take you over to the collection, update you on the Mittlighter garden that we converted into a self-watering food forest. So here's the Mittlighter update. All of these beds, they were once a Mittlighter gardening system, so they're all self-watering beds. That's why it has the spigot here. And I swapped out the PVC for a poly drip hose, and we have different types of ground cover. So we have mint and comfrey for ground cover and weed suppression. We have 3 or 4 different variety of blueberries. So we have stuff like Tiff Blue, Austin, but you can see, because we can keep the water to them, that the blueberries are finally performing. I've been trying to grow blueberries for several years, and this is the first successful year because I can keep the water on them. Then we're experimenting with comfrey as a ground cover and weed suppression, also as chicken food fodder. And also we are using strawberries that are performing very well this year. And these strawberries have already fruited and been picked once this year. We're also using the coffee hull husk from our local roaster that roasts all of our coffee over at TheTexasBoys.com. Shout out to Firecracker Roast. If you've never had a white coffee, go on over to TheTexasBoys.com right now and get yourself a bag of Firecracker. And if you drink it, you'll understand why it's called Firecracker. But we use the coffee husk here to mulch, and everything has dual function here. We compost our chicken. We compost our chicken house waste, and then that all goes here on what we affectionately call our food 401k. In 2008, I got out of the financial advising business, and I also got out of the stocks and bond market. I didn't want to be in the stocks anymore, and I didn't want to be in the bonds of society. And so we got out, and when we got a little bit of dirt, we planted a food 401k. Comfrey is very medicinal. They call it bone knit. You can pulverize it into a poultice and put it on your broken bones or sores and scrapes. It's very medicinal, so it has multiple functions. So this is our blueberry and strawberries down here. Then we get into like more of a designer type fig collection. This has got a real fancy name, Regato del Salento. And for any of you Spanish speakers, but I don't know if any of that means striped, but I only have 2 surviving striped fig varieties, but that's one of them. The other one is the panache. That's a larger tree over there. But you can see this tree. This is only a 2nd-year tree. I rooted it from a cutting. It's performing very well. We run the comfrey in between, keeps the weed suppression down. If and when I need it, I hit these paths with a torch. And this is this MBVS maybe? And you can see that this tree is very prolific. There's lots of fruit set on it. And on that side as well. Then we have some trees that didn't make it. The reason you see these gaps is because some stuff just doesn't make it. Now here's a Smith tree. This is a great variety. If anybody's looking for cuttings, you can always email me. We can work out a deal, or I can sell you some cuttings. Smith fig tree, very good. Let's see here. This is a Mount Etna type variety. Lots of figs on it this year. Lots of figs there. Figs there. And you can see how the mint is very suppressive when it comes to keeping the weeds down. There's a Texas weed, I picked that out. But that's what's going on. This is performing very well. And the trees are very healthy, but now I'll take you around front. So this zone right here, it's right out our front door. This is the first bunch of fruit trees we planted. We have some pears up here. We have some mulberries. We have some thornless blackberries. I have Primark, Freedom blackberries. This is a pink blossom. So this is like one of the other, this probably has some type of Indian name. It's not Choctaw. There's several different, there's like 4 different local type varieties that are named after some Indian tribes. And this is just a great, now somebody's been out here this morning and picked these because these were very, very ripe. That's another question we get all the time. Like, well, do you sell the fruit? What are you doing? Who's going to eat all this fruit? And when you got as many kiddos as we have, Like the fruit very rarely makes it into the house. So it's usually picked and eaten. That's the way it goes. But I want to show you another rare star we have here on the homestead. There's a white Pakistani mulberry, got burnt to the ground, popped back. You'll see lots of Adam's elderberry, and we propagate all that. That'll probably get added to the food forest in a box this year. And then this is a large, this is a black Pakistani that froze to the ground. It's still alive though, so it'll probably come back there from the roots. But then we have here is an Turk mulberry, and this is a gigantic mulberry. These are very large, very, very large mulberries. So they're about 10 times the size of a regular mulberry, and they're absolutely delicious when they are fully ripe. So we got some more mulberries in here. Previously, we had cherries in here, and the cherries performed and fruited for like 3 or 4 years. They randomly just died. All of these pear trees this year are fruiting. So we're gonna have a great, pears do very well down here. So I do always recommend pears and figs. We are zone 8A. In our zone 8A, pears perform very well. Apples, not so much. We do have some apples. So this is the food forest in the side. This one is fenced in as well, so we can run critters through here. Previously, we were running our cooney through here, and our girl kept getting out, and I got tired of messing with her. So we gifted her to a well-deserving family. Here's where I compost with the wood chips and various scraps and whatever. I don't really have a lot of time to turn it and stuff, but it still works very well. It's just it's a very slow pile, but it's very productive. And then back here we have lots of peaches, lots of pears, and obviously lots of figs. This is Chicago Hardy with lots of sets on here. So this is going to be very, very productive this year. I think we have about 12 different variety of peaches back here. We have some loquats. That's a Celeste fig that always does very well. And that one's loaded with lots of figs. And then we had 2 golden varieties of nectarines. These trees are about 5 or 6 years old. There was one here, there was one there. This is year 5 or 6, and look, y'all, this is the first year that we've had nectarines, and they are absolutely incredible. Like this is a golden, I forget the name of this variety. I got this from Leg Creek, but these are absolutely incredible. What's really neat is there was some up way high, and this grass and mulch is so thick and soft down here. You can let now you got to check on it. You know, you can't let the critters get to it, but you can just let the fruit drop, and they will be perfectly ripe. The flavor is out of control. Very good. And we have, this is a Celeste with lots of fruit. This is a Burrata fig, hasn't fruited yet. Then we have some mulberries. This is a really good mulberry tree. We have 2 really good mulberries right here. That's another Celeste tree. This is the Chicago Hardy, and it is loaded. And then this is a Salem Dark. It's loaded. This tree here is a favorite. This is a green Isha, so this is a strawberry type fig. That's just started to set. Then we have, that is a pear. That's a French name. That maybe, oh, I forget it. I'm not real good at French anyway. And then check this out. You always find these volunteers. That's a mulberry tree. Probably a bird was roosting in this tree, ate a mulberry, passed it out, and left a self-fertilizing seed there. And a mulberry tree grew. So when we get stuff like that, we pop them up. And I'm currently propagating a bunch of mulberries for our ranch because we're growing it as fodder for our cows, because mulberry is an awesome fodder, very fast growing. The cows and the horses love it. They call it tree hay. So we recently put in a divider fence at our ranch, splitting it in half. So now technically we have 3 fence zones at our ranch, so we can rotate our cows without having to mess with energizers. Here's another favorite. We'll stop here for a second. This is a Violet de Solis, another French name. Very large leaves, very delicious, large black fig. Here's where I'm making air layers of the world's best mulberry. This is what we're going to plant at the ranch. I have a couple made up that I'm going to plant over there today along the new fence line. But we'll plant them probably 6 to 8 feet apart. World's best is more of a dwarf shrub-like mulberry, so you can kind of see how it grows. We have more peaches. I bet you there's some peaches, oh yeah, that are ripe in here. Let's see, let's go over here. Like I said, we have about 12 variety of peaches, and a lot of these varieties are like named after months, like July fire and June this, and a lot of times we don't even get to pick a lot of them. So you'll even see some ones that have already went bad up there. But we do have peaches. Cling freeze are the best. They're the easiest to eat. But these are starting to ripen. Some of these have actually already gone bad. But there's ones way up there, we can just shake the tree and they'll drop, and we'll put them in a basket. So that is pretty much it, y'all. I just wanted to kind of give you a tour and an update so you could see what was growing on. You know, I'm almost at my 2-year carnivore anniversary, so we are meat based, but we do eat fruit in season. And I think we're almost to the point here where we should be able to only eat our fruit if we do this right. And this has been a while in the making, 7 years or so, and lots of pruning, and then I ignore a lot of stuff until it kind of gets a little more substantial, and then I'll try to prune it and hack it into what I want it to be. But now you kind of have a channel update. You kind of know what's up, what's going on. Everybody always enjoys the Food Forest videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and then when I get the time, we'll get them answered. If I get enough of the same question, maybe I'll do like a response video for y'all. And I appreciate all y'all that support the Fearless podcast. And yeah, I know that's not for everybody, but I kind of always view our channel as like a place where you can come and watch the stuff you like and just ignore the stuff you don't like. I just think it's so creepy to get hedged into some kind of algorithmic niche where you have to produce the same stuff over and over again. And we've seen so many channels that end up being forced to do that, whether it's like news sensationalism and trash like that, or, you know, just having to make the same thing over and over. It's very boring, monotonous, tiresome, and it's just not something that we're going to do. But love and appreciate y'all. If you want to support us, go on over to TheTexasBoys.com, and we will see y'all in the next video. Have a blessed day.